Lining up the first trade sequence is all about Monday's order flow signal, 12-12-22. Charts, price action, and order flow. Aloha and welcome. You're on the Digital Micro Trading Journal. I'm Digital Micro. Day trading for an ROI payout. No trade recommendations. It's just a trade journal. On 24-hour M2K chart. So what we're looking at here is a close at lower Bollinger Band with no algo signal, but more important is we've had a Friday close at the lower 24-hour Bollinger Band. So that's to note for the Monday Globex open. Above this, we've got the PAL pivot from last week, middle Bollinger Band, and a declining 9 EMA. And where I'm looking at right here is a level of interest at the anchored volume weighted average price. And that comes in right about 1820, 1821. The order flow below with this red arrow right here, it's basically neutral. So that's real important. I would have expected that this would have been showing signs of more of a sell distribution, and that's not the case. And below that, cumulative delta and the pace, nothing to think of. Now, this is a March contract because of the rollover, but the levels are clear. The lower Bollinger Band is a level, so when it resets for Monday, I'll be looking at that. And this 1820 is my second key level based on the 24-hour. And not having an algo signal either way on a buy or a sell, and the order flows, just to sum up, neutral. So that's the 24-hour. Okay, the 120. So for this, one concern is these Bollinger Bands still seem pretty compressed to me, so that's one concern. The other thing here I would say is that we've had a lot of red, but this range here coming in with the yellow horizontal on support. So I'm not really seeing much of last week's price range expansion. It's pretty consolidated. When you go to the order flow, though, you see the supply hits early in the week. And even though price really didn't make a move out of the range the last 3 or 4 days, you saw that the supply hits started to fade. And by Friday, we had supply and we had no demand. In other words, the hits were less. And cumulative delta, same story here. Look at this red arrow where we were middle, early last week and how we ended up the week. The pace, same thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, it's all about those first 3 days. We've got CPI, we've got Powell. Monday, we've got nothing big, but I'm going to really look at where we are pivoting on these order flows. I've got the Renko chart up here and I'm zoomed out, and the big takeaway was when we had this PPI announcement, you see this big decline, and unfortunately I was not on that ride down, and I should have been, because look how we were at this upper Keltner. Again, it didn't hit it, but the point was I was being too picky. And then we sunk down here all the way down to lower Keltner and just stayed there for a while. But it's just amazing, literally in seconds, how quickly the volatility went. By the end of the day on Friday, we were playing around with the lower Keltners. I didn't buy, of course, because I didn't want to hold through the weekend. But the takeaway here is I'm going to really follow the Keltners, even if it gets close. I'm not going to wait for exact hits, but this is going to be one of my key trigger charts. As far as the order flow goes, notice the strength of the hits here. I've got this red horizontal line. Gonna really use this as well because the order flow works great with Renko, and cumulative delta just completely increased for after the lunch hour East Coast time to the close. And look at that pace. It's all red. So again, everybody didn't want to hold over the weekend. Lots of supply, no demand. And it's going to be real key here to see the price action on Asia Globex Monday to see how we start the week. For the 5 minute, I zoomed out on this too because I wanted to check out the order flow on the strength of the hits here. And you can kind of see here this horizontal red line. The big part of Friday really was at the beginning when we had the PPI. And again, the cumulative delta, all the hits were early. So the big moves are going to be the RTH. I'm going to really look at that. You can see the peak here of this pace was right at PPI. The whole week, there was no greater selling than this pace. So it really accelerated. So this was really helping me because you can see the horizontal line really held on support. I want to just keep following the order flow hits. And this zone here, 1810 to 1815, that's going to be the zone that I watch for the Asia Globex pivot and the Europe Globex pivot, and of course the RTH initial balance.